Do you truly understand what's driving the women in your life? Beyond the surface, there are 5 powerful psychological blind spots that can obscure a woman's true intentions, making genuine connection challenging. Discover these crucial insights to not only recognize these subtle cues, but also to build stronger, more authentic relationships by finally seeing beyond the veil. Blind spot 1. The consistency gap. One of the most revealing blind spots in female psychology, the one almost no woman is aware she exposes, is the consistency gap. This is the gap between who she pretends to be at the beginning and who she actually is once the emotional mask falls off. See, anyone can look perfect in the beginning. Women, especially, are socially trained to create strong first impressions. She knows the right things to say. She knows how to act interested. She knows how to appear supportive, sweet, and cooperative when the connection is new, fresh, and thrilling. But the problem is this: consistency requires authenticity, and authenticity requires intention. And intention is exactly where the truth leaks out. A woman with sincere interest can maintain steady energy, stable communication, genuine curiosity, and real effort over time because those behaviors are aligned with her true motives. But a woman whose intentions are unclear, or self-serving, cannot sustain the same level of investment once the initial excitement fades. This blind spot reveals itself in several subtle yet unmistakable ways. First, pay attention to how her effort evolves. At the start, she may be quick to reply, excited to see you, and emotionally open. But watch her after you've given her attention, validation, or the emotional reward she was seeking. If her effort dips sharply, if she becomes unpredictable, or if she suddenly becomes busy for everything except the things she wants, her consistency gap is exposing her true intention. A woman who values you doesn't drop off after she gets what she wants. She leans in more, not less. Second, listen to the micro shifts in her tone and enthusiasm. Most men only notice big changes, arguments, ghosting, or emotional coldness. But her real intentions leak through tiny changes she doesn't even realize she's making. Her responses become shorter. Her voice loses warmth. She stops initiating conversations. She becomes less playful, less curious, and less emotionally present. These small cracks in consistency show you whether she was genuinely attracted or whether she was simply enjoying the attention while it felt good. Third, pay attention to conversation patterns. A woman with genuine interest maintains a natural, mutual rhythm. But a woman with hidden motives falls into what I call circumstantial investment. She only invests when it benefits her, when she's lonely, bored, insecure, stressed, or between emotional highs. Her availability is based on convenience, not commitment. This inconsistency is the clearest sign she's not truly invested in you, but in the emotional benefits you temporarily offer. Finally, understand this. Most women don't deliberately manipulate through inconsistency. This is why it's a blind spot. She isn't consciously aware of the gap between how she starts and how she sustains. But the gap is there, and it always tells the truth. When a woman's words and initial behavior don't match her long-term consistency, you're seeing the real person behind the performance. And once you learn to read this gap, you stop guessing. You stop overthinking. You simply observe the truth she reveals without realizing it. Blind spot 2. Emotional leakage. If blind spot 1 reveals a woman through her patterns, blind spot 2 reveals her through her emotions, the one part of human behavior that cannot be fully controlled, rehearsed, or hidden. This is what psychologists call emotional leakage, the subtle ways a person's true feelings escape through micro-expressions, tone, timing, word choice, body language, and moment-to-moment emotional responses. Men often miss this because they listen to what a woman says instead of watching what she shows. But a woman's emotional leakage tells you everything she doesn't want to admit, doesn't know how to explain, or doesn't even realize she feels. Most of these signals are unconscious. That's why it's a blind spot. She isn't intentionally revealing anything, but her emotions still slip through the cracks. Let's break this down. 1. The leakage of hidden guilt. When a woman is doing something in the background that she knows you wouldn't approve of, texting another guy, entertaining attention elsewhere, losing interest, or hiding something, she will display subtle signs of guilt long before anything obvious happens. Her tone becomes overly defensive, even if you asked an innocent question. She might explain things you never asked about, like where she was, who she was with, or why she didn't reply. She may suddenly become unusually sweet, overly affectionate, or extra complimentary, because guilt often creates compensating behavior. These are emotional leaks. She doesn't realize she's doing it, but her nervous system is betraying what her mouth is trying to hide. Another sign of hidden guilt is what I call post-phone mood shifts. Watch her mood right after she checks her notifications. Does she suddenly become distant? Does she look irritated or overly excited or strangely quiet? Her emotional reaction to her phone is a massive leak. It reveals whether something or someone is influencing her emotional world besides you. 2. Leakage when she is losing interest. One of the most important things men fail to detect early is the emotional leakage of fading attraction. Women rarely say directly, "I'm losing interest," but their nervous system broadcasts the signal clearly. Here's how. She becomes emotionally flat. The spark in her reactions fades. She laughs less. She isn't as curious about you. Her questions become shallow or routine. She replies because she feels she should, not because she wants to. She may still be polite. She may still be kind. She may still show up. But the emotional enthusiasm that once existed is gone. This is leakage. She can keep the words the same, but she cannot keep the feeling behind those words intact. 3. Leakage when she is attracted. Emotional leakage isn't only negative. It also reveals genuine attraction. A woman who is truly drawn to you cannot fully hide her interest. It shows up in her body language. She mirrors your posture without realizing it. She tilts her head when you talk. She leans in instead of away. Her eyes widen slightly when you begin speaking. She plays with her hair or jewelry unconsciously. These are instinctive, involuntary behaviors that occur when she feels safe, excited, or drawn to you. Her emotional leakage also shows in rhythm and timing. Her replies are quicker. Her energy is higher. She reacts with warmth and anticipation. She remembers details you mentioned casually. She finds reasons, small ones, subtle ones, to stay connected. No woman can fake this for long. Attraction leaks out even when she tries to hide it. 4. Leakage during discomfort or insecurity. Another powerful form of emotional leakage happens when you show strength, confidence, or boundaries. If she has sincere intentions, your strength makes her feel safe and valued. She relaxes. She respects you more. Her emotional state becomes calmer. But if her intentions are unclear, manipulative, self-serving, or control-oriented, your strength causes discomfort because it disrupts her emotional leverage. Signs include awkward silence, nervous laughter, passive-aggressive responses, subtle irritation at your decisiveness, shifting the topic when you set boundaries, sudden emotional distance. These reactions are involuntary. She doesn't decide to feel threatened, she just does. This is why emotional leakage is such a revealing blind spot. It's not what she wants to feel, it's what she actually feels. 5. Leakage through delays and timing. Sometimes emotional leakage isn't in what she does, but in when she does it. A delayed reply after a message that should have mattered. A slow reaction to something important to you. A fast reaction to something trivial. An emotional shift when you withdraw attention. An overly quick apology, or a refusal to apologize at all. Humans cannot fake timing. Our emotional state always influences our speed. Women don't recognize the timing of their reactions as a signal, but it is, and it exposes intention with precision. Blindspot 3. Value Priority Mission. If Blindspot 1 exposes a woman through her patterns, and Blindspot 2 exposes her through her emotions, Blindspot 3 exposes her through something far more fundamental: what she actually values. Every woman knows how to say she cares. Every woman knows how to present interest. Every woman knows how to play the part in the beginning. But values, real values, are almost impossible to fake long-term. This is why the value-priority mismatch becomes one of the most revealing blind spots in female psychology. A woman's true intentions show up not in her words, but in her priorities: where she puts her time, where she puts her energy, what she sacrifices, what she avoids, what she delays, what she chooses over you, and what she chooses because of you. Most of these choices are unconscious. She doesn't even realize they reveal her intentions. But the mismatch between what she claims to value and what she actually prioritizes tells you everything. Let's break this down deeply. 1. Her time, the ultimate truth teller. Time is the most limited resource a person has, and a woman's true intentions are reflected in how she spends it, not how she talks about it. When a woman values you, time naturally flows toward you, not because she forces it, but because prioritizing you feels natural, exciting, meaningful. But when a woman's intentions are selfish, unclear, or temporary, her time becomes selective, and the selection is never in your favor. Here's how the mismatch shows up. She's always busy for you, but not for what she enjoys. If she has time for TikTok, Instagram, shopping, nights out, gossip, scrolling, talking to friends for hours, or responding instantly to everyone except you, yet claims she's just overwhelmed. That's not overwhelm. That's a value mismatch. She makes time only when she needs something. She reaches out only when she's lonely, bored, stressed, insecure, needing validation, upset with someone else, or looking for emotional comfort. That isn't attraction. That isn't connection. That's convenience disguised as closeness. A woman who values you shows up consistently, not selectively. 2. Her energy, the hidden currency. If time shows where she is, energy shows what she feels. A woman with real intentions invests emotional energy. She asks questions. She remembers things you said. She responds with warmth. She engages with enthusiasm. She initiates conversations. She maintains connection naturally. This doesn't require effort on her part. It flows from genuine interest. But a woman with unclear or manipulative intentions gives minimal emotional energy. You'll notice flat responses, lack of curiosity, low enthusiasm, surface-level conversation, predictable excuses, emotional withdrawal, or energy only when she needs it. This is a critical blind spot. She might believe she's treating you well, but her energy level exposes that her heart is not invested. Only her convenience is. A woman can fake politeness. She can fake patience. She can fake femininity. She can fake effort, briefly. But she cannot fake enthusiasm over time. Enthusiasm is real or it isn't. That's the power of emotional energy. 3. Her sacrifice, the real indicator of intention. Sacrifice is where words die and intentions become visible. A woman's willingness or unwillingness to sacrifice is one of the strongest indicators of her true motives. Sacrifice doesn't mean grand gestures. It means small but meaningful adjustments. Changing a plan to see you, waking up earlier to call you, driving across town when she's tired, rearranging her schedule, showing up when it's inconvenient, supporting you during difficult times. When a woman values you, sacrifice feels natural. But when her intentions are self-centered, she avoids any inconvenience. Look for these signs. Everything is on her terms: her schedule, her timing, her comfort, her rules. If you're constantly adjusting yourself to fit into her world, While she never adjusts to fit into yours, that's a massive value mismatch. She expects effort but doesn't return it. She wants attention, loyalty, reassurance, effort, patience, consistency, but she doesn't offer the same in return. Again, this is a blind spot. Most women with unclear motives believe they're being reasonable. They don't realize the imbalance they're creating. But you see it, and it reveals her intention clearly. 4. Her priorities versus her promises. A woman's mouth can paint a beautiful picture, but her priorities paint the real one. Pay attention to this one rule. If her actions and priorities contradict her words, always trust the priorities. A woman with genuine intentions makes space for you in her life. A woman with hidden intentions fits you in only when nothing better is happening. Her priorities will always reveal whether she's building something with you or just passing time. Whether she's serious or just keeping options. Whether she's emotionally invested or just emotionally benefiting. A mismatched priority system always exposes the truth, not because she wants to reveal it, but because what she values guides every choice she makes. 5. Why this is a blind spot for women. Women generally believe their feelings reflect their intentions, but intentions are shown not through feeling, but through prioritizing. This mismatch is invisible to her, but crystal clear to a man who pays attention. She doesn't see that her excuses communicate disinterest. She doesn't see that her avoidance reveals her real motives. She doesn't see that her energy level exposes her heart. She doesn't see that her time allocation tells the truth. But you see it. And once you learn to interpret these signals, you stop believing words and start reading priorities. Because a woman's value system is the compass that points to her true intentions, no matter how well she tries to hide them. Blindspot 4. Future projection slips. One of the most revealing psychological blind spots in women, one they rarely recognize even within themselves, is what I call the future projection slip. The unconscious way a woman talks about, imagines, or reacts to the future without realizing it's exposing her true intentions. Most men focus on her present behavior, her affection today, her words in the moment. But the deeper truth is always found in how she unintentionally speaks about tomorrow. A woman's conscious mind can control her actions in the short term, but her subconscious slips through whenever the future becomes part of the conversation. If her intentions with you are genuine, long-term, or emotionally invested, her language naturally leans toward inclusion. Her "we" slips out effortlessly. Her imagination places you beside her without calculation, and her emotional tone softens when speaking about future possibilities. She's not trying to hint at commitment, nor is she manipulating for reassurance. She simply cannot talk about what's ahead without you showing up in that mental picture. But when her intentions are uncertain, self-serving, or temporary, her future language becomes coldly individualistic. She speaks in "I" statements, and not because she is fiercely independent, but because she genuinely doesn't imagine you there. It's not rejection, it's revelation. She isn't pushing you away. She simply doesn't see you in that part of her life. This is why men often feel confused when a woman who seemed affectionate suddenly becomes distant. Her present behavior was influenced by emotion, but her future projection reveals her intention. When you bring up long-term ideas, goals, or direction, her reactions reveal what she never intended to expose. A woman who imagines a future with you becomes curious. She asks questions, explores possibilities, and engages in the concept. A woman who does not seize your future talk as pressure, discomfort, or unnecessary seriousness. She shifts the topic, laughs it off, becomes evasive, or responds with vague generalities. Not because she's hiding something, but because her subconscious reveals her lack of vision with you. She might even become defensive, not out of fear of commitment, but because the conversation exposes a truth she hasn't acknowledged within herself. Another form of future projection slip happens when her stated desires contradict her behavior. She may say she wants stability, love, and long-term connection, but behave like someone addicted to chaos, novelty, or emotional attention. She may claim she wants a serious relationship, yet keeps you in a dynamic that lacks structure, clarity, or progression. She may say she sees potential with you, but keeps living like someone who wants options, not direction. This mismatch is powerful because she is blind to it. She truly believes her words reflect her intentions, but her behavior reflects her priorities, and her priorities reflect her truth. Even her reactions to your personal growth reveal her future projection. A woman who sees you in her future becomes proud, supportive, excited when she sees you leveling up. She interprets your growth as a sign of stability, strength, and long-term promise. But a woman who subconsciously knows she won't be around becomes threatened, distant, or passive when you improve yourself. Your growth doesn't inspire her. It unsettles her, because deep down she knows your future doesn't include her, and watching you evolve forces her to confront what she avoids thinking about. Women also reveal their intentions through the future scenarios they create for themselves. Listen closely when she talks about her dreams, her career path, her travel plans, her life direction. If she consistently talks as though she will be alone, free, unattached, or moving in a direction that creates distance, she isn't revealing independence. She's revealing that she does not imagine you beside her. Conversely, when a woman deeply values you, she verbalizes a future where your presence fits naturally. She doesn't force it. She doesn't strategize it. She simply projects a life where you are part of the picture. What makes this such a powerful blind spot is that she doesn't recognize it as communication. She believes she is just talking, unaware that her subconscious is broadcasting truth every time she imagines tomorrow. Men who learn to observe these slips stop relying on promises and start reading projections. The unconscious is always honest. A woman can control her words in the present, but she cannot control who appears beside her in the future she accidentally describes. Blindspot 5. The reaction test. The fifth and final blind spot that exposes a woman's true intentions is what I call the reaction test, the involuntary way she responds to your boundaries, your strength, your standards, and your personal growth, often revealing more than she consciously intends. Most men focus on what she says, how she smiles, or the moments she seems affectionate. But this blind spot is about observing what she cannot fully control, her emotional reaction when your actions create tension, assert independence, or challenge her comfort zone. Women are experts at reading energy, and they unconsciously respond to dominance, confidence, and consistency in men, but their reactions are colored by their actual intentions toward you. When you pull back, test limits, or assert boundaries, a woman with genuine intentions will respond in ways that align with respect, curiosity, or emotional engagement. She may ask clarifying questions, express concern, show vulnerability, or take the opportunity to invest more in the relationship. These reactions are unconscious yet revealing because they demonstrate that she values your presence and wants to maintain a meaningful connection. On the other hand, a woman whose intentions are temporary, self-serving, or manipulative will react very differently. Pull back, set boundaries, or stop chasing, and you'll notice subtle but unmistakable signs of discomfort. Irritation disguised as humor, passive-aggressive remarks, silent withdrawal, or emotional manipulation. These reactions reveal a fear of losing control rather than genuine care. She may try to guilt you, shift the emotional balance, or test you with indirect criticism. All unconscious attempts to regain leverage. Her behavior in these moments is a blind spot because she often believes she is justified, reasonable, or even innocent. Yet her true intentions leak out in how she responds to your autonomy. Another form of this blind spot appears when you level up, when you improve your life physically, financially, emotionally, or socially. Women with authentic intentions are excited, supportive, and even inspired by your growth. They celebrate your achievements, adapt, and naturally integrate themselves into the new dynamic. Women with unclear intentions, however, experience this as a threat. Subtle distancing, decreased attention, dismissive comments, or competitive behavior are all unconscious reactions to your elevation, exposing that they do not truly see themselves as part of the life you are building. Even small actions, like your refusal to give constant attention or validation, act as tests of her intent. Her response, whether it is understanding, resentment, manipulation, or withdrawal, reveals whether her attachment is genuine or convenience-based. This blind spot is incredibly powerful because it is impossible for a woman to maintain a completely artificial reaction in the face of a man's consistent strength and standards. Every word, pause, and behavioral shift broadcasts her truth without her conscious awareness. Men who master this understand that observing reactions is far more reliable than interpreting promises, compliments, or appearances. Whether she steps forward to invest when challenged or steps back to protect her own interests, her reaction is the subconscious truth of her intentions. While many women may unknowingly expose this blind spot, they rarely reflect on it consciously, making it a goldmine of insight for men who are observant and disciplined. Once you start noticing these patterns consistently, you no longer need to guess, hope, or rationalize. You simply observe, interpret, and respond accordingly. The reaction test is the final filter, the unconscious truth detector, and one of the most reliable indicators of whether her intentions align with your long-term interests or whether she is merely navigating life alongside you until a more convenient opportunity appears.